What up, though, homies and homies? It's your homeboy Grand Tizzle today, and I have a cool, quick weekend tip for you guys. But before we talk about this tip, there's something I want to talk to you guys about. I received an email from big homie Thomas Sloan, and he's a VIP member. And let me try to find this so I can read it to you guys real quick. And then I want to talk to you guys about something concerning the mindset about us. You know, the mindset of us as people. And I wanted to, here it is here. I'm gonna read the text to you, and then I want to talk to you guys about the way we think, about our thought process. Now, this is not for everybody, but if you continue to listen on from this point, you may learn something very valuable, and it's something that I think that we all really have to wake up to. There is definitely something going on in life today, and I'm positive you guys can feel it, but you can't really put your finger on what's happening. None of us really can. It's kind of like it's just one of them situations where something, if it's bad, it's extremely bad. If it's good, it's extremely good, but mostly bad. If we kind of experiencing something good, it's kind of rare. You like a celebrity and even celebrities is going through something bad. So, but for the most part, it's a mindset. It's a mindset. And I'm only drawing the conclusion that I'm only assuming that this mindset stems from, I guess you could say, for lack of better words, programming. I think like we've been programmed. I'm not a conspiracy theorist and all that type of stuff. I leave all that. I don't get into that, but I do know that certain music and certain things that we pick up from, I don't know, TV, news, things like that. We kind of, we pick up different things, and from the things that we pick up things like hopelessness and, just different things like that. So, but anyway, and I believe that had molded our mindset. And the reason why is because it's a trend. The way we think is a trend. So, it's just two things that's happening. We either digging deeper into debauchery or we waking up. It's one or the other thing that's happening. So I'm going to read this text. It says, Yo T, I'm a VIP and was really looking to hone in on hip-hop production. I realized you're spread thin, covering down a lot of various hip-hop tools, things that we need for the industry. And he was like, including this cover art. He was like, at first, now this is what I want you to check out. He said, at first I wasn't that interested in pursuing the mixtape cover designs. It said, but now that I'm looking at these cover art designs you're kicking out, I need to know how to do this. Explanation point several times. I'm looking at renting Photoshop instead of purchasing it. What are tools will I need to rent to be able to have my stuff looking dope like yours? And do I only need Photoshop, or are there any other tools I also need? Also, what is the very first video I'll need to watch to get my feet wet? I appreciate you, big bro. Okay, so hopefully he all right with me reading this email. I guess I should have got permission first, but he didn't say anything wrong or anything like that. Then I text him back, but I want to kind of address something to all the listeners that's coming and watching the tutorials, and a lot of people discovered that they may not have been into mixtape covers, but when they see the artwork, they're like, oh yeah, I got to learn how to do this. Yeah, that's something that I need. Now here's where the conversation, here's where my conversation come in at. I've been preaching for years to learn more skills, and especially today, with the the presidential situation, and people is really worried about the future and what the future holds for them, and you know what I'm saying, where we stand as far as, you know, our finances and things like that. And I've always promoted to be you know, self-employed or entrepreneurs, or have a side hustle. You can have your 9 to 5, but make sure you got other things that you can do to balance things out, because it may start getting tight. But the primary thing what I want to talk about is mindset. Mindset, fam. And what you mean? Okay. What I mean is we have this belief, and I don't know where we get it from. I don't know where we get it from. But we have this limiting stop. We got this thing that's inside of a lot of our minds, majority of our minds, that put a stop to progress. And it could be maybe we grew up in poverty. I know I did. I grew up in poverty from Detroit, the slums of the D. Detroit, the slums. We thought Chicago was bad, but it's still a record that Detroit is worse. Detroit is worse with the violence and the poverty. But I don't know, maybe it's because we're hearing so much news about Chicago. I don't know if Detroit is old news, but Detroit ain't even on the map no more for news, but it's worse than Chicago. And this is where I come from. So when you grow up in an environment and you cannot see you can't see the forest for the trees. And what I mean is, I guess it's, I don't know if you guys ever heard of this phrase, frog in the bucket of, frog in a pot of boiling water. We were born in boiling water. Now, they use this scenario to help you understand the way the brain thinks. And there's another thing too that animals do, and I'm gonna talk about that in a second. But we have this thing where frogs. Let's hypothetically say you're a frog, and you got this pot of hot boiling water. If the frog leaps and jumps into that boiling water, you will instantly feel the scalding heat. So you would instantaneously jump out. Bing, you'll pop out like a rubber band, right? But if you was in the pot of water when it was cool, and then you put that pot of water on the stove and you put that fire on, you turn on the fire, well, you're in the boiling water. And it don't get hot instantly. It slowly but surely gets hot. And it gets hotter and hotter and hotter. And sometimes, you ever been in I don't know if you ever been in the tub and that hot water kind of feel a little good if you already in it. It almost kind of feel like a blanket, kind of like just a nice warm blanket. Well, when it gets hotter and hotter and hotter, you really don't feel it. You don't feel it. It goes from cool to warm because your body adapt and your body adjusts. And it adjusts from that point all the way to, if it gets a little hotter, gets to boiling, your body had adapted to it. So you really don't know. You're not aware that it's hot. So a lot of times a frog will burn alive, not even aware that it's burning. So that goes with the mindset. That goes with, if you born in an environment where you don't know it's hot, then everything that you do in life is based on that, including your mindset, especially your mindset. So a lot of habits, a lot of things that you see. When I was coming up, I saw dope pushers, dope fiends, but it was normal. That was normal to walk down the street and see a needle in a addict's arm. Walking down the street, seeing prostitutes, pimps and prostitutes and addicts, and the addicts and the prostitutes is looking like zombies. walking around like zombies, and we was little kids. And all these bad killers and pedophiles and just all of the bad things growing up in the neighborhood over at St. Antoine and Bobby and over in Detroit, Michigan, Lower East Side, where it was just nothing but pimps, prostitutes, and drug addicts. That's where we grew up at. So when you seeing that every single day, first and foremost, not when you coming from the burbs and all you see and experiencing is the good life and then you get dumped in the hood, but if you born and raised in the hood and that's all you see and that's all you know, then something different happens to your mind. And in your mind, all you see is everything, everybody you know, and everyone you see, all you see is debauchery in one form or another. But when you're born into it, it's not debauchery to you. It's the norm. This is normal. What you talking about? What do debauchery mean? What is that? It's normal. This is normal life to us, which means there ain't nothing wrong with this. Ain't nothing wrong. Okay, well, I'm gonna grow up. I'm gonna be like that. I see this man over here. He wearing the long white mink coat. He driving in a Cadillac. He got on the shiny alligator shoes. His hair's whipped. He got on some nice glasses. Pimped out. He look like he doing pretty good. They doing pretty bad, but I guess that's normal. When you a kid, you seen this. My grandfather's name was Pop's Baby. He was a pimp. So all we saw was the extreme good or the extreme bad. He sold drugs, obviously. And he was a pimp. He was pimping prostitutes. So, again, we seeing prostitutes, that was normal. Woman walking around, selling herself and things like that. That was normal. Robbing and killing and shooting, that was normal to us. So how do that adjust your mindset? Well, if that's all we see, that's all we get to work off of, especially when you're young. When you're young, there's a template that we have to go by. When you're young, you go by this template. So the template is basically going to be the first thing you see. For example, when you're a baby, if we want something, if we're teething, we need a pacifier. And without even thinking about it, we go grabbing anything, and the first thing we do, we put anything in our mouth. It could be a basket, a little ball. It could be a spoon, anything, a pencil, a pen. If we, our parents have to stop us from we instantly put it in our mouth. Why? Because we're suckle babies. So we're going to grab the first thing we see and put it in our mouth. Our parents can stop us and they give us the pacifier, the proper thing to put in our mouth. And then we put the pacifier in our mouth. So that happens also with the mind. We're going to start grabbing what's in the environment. That shapes our mentality. Okay, well, what I see is, so how do I survive? Oh, okay, so I'm just going to grab this because this is what's there. I'm going to grab that. What am I going to be? Am I going to be the pimp? Am I going to be the murderer? Am I going to be the prostitute? Am I going to be the drug addict? This is what my options are. I'm going to just grab what my options are here. And there's no one that stops us from putting that in our mind. Just like if your parent wasn't there to stop you from putting that pencil, from putting that pencil in your mouth, or putting that that dirty, I don't know, whatever. Because keep in mind, again, when you're a baby, you grab anything. The first thing you do, you grip. That's why parents, they keep their hands clean. Because you always grabbing their hands and you just start gnawing on their fingers. So as we grow up, we still grabbing on things because we have to feed our mind. We got to feed our brain. And when you feed your brain, at the time when we needed something to know how to grow and learn and understand, we just start grabbing anything. Boom, 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 boom. And living in that type of environment and living in that type of, that was our arrangement. That was the arrangement that was for us, because we couldn't afford nothing else. Obviously, we wouldn't be in the hood. We wouldn't be in the ghetto. Not even hood. Now I won't even say hood. I'm talking about ghetto. I'm talking about apartment buildings. Let me show you what I'm talking about. Okay, I think I found something that's a little close, that resembles what I'm talking about here. And I can tell you all kind of stories about what happened when we was growing up. But like, for example, like this, for like the first apartments that I was living in when I was younger was like this. Something similar to this right here. And it was kids, you know, dying from getting thrown off of roofs and, you know, just, there's another, you know, and the irony of what I'm saying, this is another image of Detroit. This is so real. This was down the street from my house. This is the first time I went to jail because this place was so abandoned. I wish it was bigger. This place was so abandoned that we thought it was okay to go in there as kids, but they had alarms inside of this building. So this was the first time we went to jail, breaking into an abandoned building, which shouldn't have been there. This right here. This was called Kingsway. It was called Kingsway in Detroit. The slum, real, true slums, right? For real, for real. Where we would find dead bodies and blood be splattered on the wall from somebody getting blasted against the. I'm talking gory. I'm sorry about that, but anyway, this was the type of environment that we grew up in as kids. You know, dope dealers and pushers, and I ain't talking about modern day drug dealers. I'm talking about old school pimps where it was about needles and things like that. I'm talking about that type of stuff. Look at our houses. This is real. All this is really real. So I say all that to say that when you grow up in an environment like this, you really don't, and we're kids now. Keep in mind that we are kids. We are children, right? So we don't know that there's something better. This is better to us. There is no good or no bad. It's just this to us. In our mind, it's just this. So when this is all we have to work with, this is our template. When this is our template, our mind gets adjusted and adapted to what our template is. Look at this little kid looking at this, right? Our minds get adjusted to that. This is what we see. This is all we see. And then our parents don't have a job. So what chances do we think we're going to get a job? Well, we're going to get a job? No, not really. Probably not. Daddy haven't had a job since Chrysler closed on them. Mommy worked for she's a you know, she cleaned up people houses in the suburbs to make a living. So they didn't know. They evidently they had the same situation growing up, and then they pass it along to us, and we wonder why, you know, like, you know, well, why y'all just don't go to college, and why we don't know that we can. We don't believe that we can. The whole thing, what I'm saying is that you don't believe it. You understand what I'm saying? Not that you can or can't do it. We don't believe that we can. We don't believe that we can't do it. All we believe and all we know is this. This is all we know. This is all we see. This is all we understand. This is us being the frog in the boiling water. You understand? So when you're born in this type of situation, it's very difficult. It's very hard for you to think that you can do better. And what happens is you get a thought embedded. It gets embedded and it gets literally burned in your brain. It gets burned in your brain, right? That's bad news. But there's also some good news from this. This is not permanent. You understand? It's not a permanent thing. It's not a permanent thing for us. It's not permanent. If an environment or situation gets burnt in our brain, because basically what happened was we got so used to our surroundings, we got so used to our environment that it became a habit. It was just a habit. Our environment was based on a habit, right? You ever been in a situation, I don't know how old any of you guys are, but you ever been in a situation where it was really bad and you thought that you could never be able to get used to that situation, but it was nothing that you can do to change it? You ever experience slowly but surely you kind of start adapting to it? You just start adapting to it. You know, you be like, oh, well, it was bad back then, but you know, I'm used to it now. It don't bother me as much, because you got exposed to it so much that your brain start dealing with it. That's the way we're made. The way humans are made, we just start dealing with it. We still got to survive. We still got to live. Now, some people may commit suicide. Some people may turn to, you know, murder, and just, you know, people handle things in different ways. And that's when I started off this, what I was talking about today. I was saying how there's different mindsets, right? There's different mindsets. Some people can take it, some people can't. Now, this, of course, is getting better and better. I'm looking at the better, the suburbs and things like that. But, you know, the good news, yeah, this is the truth right here. This is the real Detroit right here. Okay, matter of fact, we're not gonna go there, but so the whole thing is we had to adapt to it. We had to adapt to it. We had to adapt to this. We just had to get used to it. And so my question is, have you ever found yourself being in a debauched situation, or a situation there was nothing you could do about it, whether it was a sickness in your family, or, you know, some employment, you know, just something went wrong and you thought that you could never deal with it. But then all of a sudden, after that wrong been there for so long, you kind of just start adapting to it, right? Well, then on the flip side, have you ever found yourself in a better situation? And you were so used to the bad situation that the better situation was confusing. And what happens with the brain and with the human psyche is that better situation have to be there for a while before you can start adapting to it. Because even let's hypothetically say you got a debauch type of place where you live in, and it go from slums, and then somebody come in and try to clean it up for you. You know, they make your grass green and they put trees in your environment. Well, if it's not whole souled, for lack of better words, if it's not a whole soul situation, a lot of times we would turn that y'all trying to make this situation good, but it's so bad and it's not consistent, we tear back up. You ever wonder how it gets tore back up? Well, that's because we're so used to the debauchery that anything good that comes, we want to make sure that it's real. We got so used to the bad. The good have to be there for a while for us to start adapting to the good, right? Okay. So you see that you can change up with the environment. If it's bad, you start adapting to the bad. If it's good, you start adapting to the good. That's how the mind works. That's how the mind works, which is, again, good news. What I'm trying to get across to y'all, because we can be on this subject forever, you know what I'm saying? Because it's all about, you know, it's like therapy. You know, we all pretty much need therapy. Or we can be on this subject forever, but I'm not going to do that. What I am going to say, what I'm going to try to break down to you is this. Your mindset. Okay, you was born in a bad situation. A lot of times when I try to talk to my Detroit family, I don't get my Detroit family, and that means my friends, my family, my peers, you know, just, you know, people from Detroit, period. It's really hard to snap them out of it. It's hard to snap them out of it. Because there's some things that's going on in the mind, and now I understand why you can't snap some people out of their mindset. The mindset was a defense mechanism that they grew on us. That mindset of it's okay to live like this was because we didn't really have no other choice. And no matter how hard we fought, fam, we couldn't get out of that situation. How can I come from this house and go to the suburbs and get a job? It was really difficult for us, very difficult, right? So what we had to do is adapt the mindset. Well, this is just what it is. It is what it is. And then you start living like that. And that was a way that we dealt with it. We dealt with it because we had to find some type of way of living like that. All right. So to try to talk to some kids now that's in this environment and to sit down with them and try to really reason with them and say, you know, you can change this, right? It's very difficult, very difficult. So I'm saying that to say that if you have a mindset, where you think that you can't change, if you have a mindset where you think that I can't do something, practice. First of all, let me say this. You can. And I wish I can really get deeper into why you can, but I'm going to try to break down the science of why you can. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm not going to tell you the motivation behind why you can. You should want to get up and you should want to go to school. And no. I'm not going to do that because we've already heard that. But there's something, fam, that the elite know that we don't know. And I'm gonna reveal that secret to y'all right now. That's the reason why, and this ain't even no promotion on my website. Skip my website right now. I don't care. Forget that. Learn this. Learn that you really, truly have the power to change. You got the power to do whatever you want to do. I'm going to tell you how you have to do it, though, fam. Listen to me. Listen real good. Pause this. Get rid of your family. Go shut everything down and listen to what I'm saying. Pay attention to how you listen. Don't let this scooch over you. Don't do that. Listen to me real good, because this is some very important information. If you made it this far, you're one of the ones. You're one of the ones. You can change. I'm gonna say one word. It's a scientific word. Habit. Now take that word and write it down somewhere. Write it down. Habit. Habit. Habits. There's good habits. There's bad habits. Human beings live based off of habits. Okay? We live off of habits, fam. Whether they're good, whether they're bad, we have to have habits to survive. Okay? Now, have you ever asked yourself, why can he be a doctor and I can't fathom being a doctor? Why can she be a nurse and I can't fathom being a nurse? Why can he be a lawyer and I can't fathom being a lawyer? Why can this person have a body of a Greek god or a Greek goddess, but I look like 50, 60, 70 pounds overweight and I cannot stop? What's the difference between me and him? Write it down. Habits. Habits, fam. Habits, habits, habits. So what point are you trying to make, T? This is a point I'm trying to make, fam. Listen. Everything under the sun we can do, unless we are physically unable to do it. And even then, there's no excuse. You know, people without limbs is gymnasts be better than expert gymnasts. You know, people that's blind can do music like they're an alien from outer space. Liberace and all these people doing beautiful, flawless, crazy sounding music, and they're blind and deaf. How do you do music and you deaf? How you do music, beautiful music like that and you deaf? Habits, 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 habits. So what does that mean? That means, no, let me stop. Let me pause. Let me back up real quick. This doctor made a decision. It don't matter if you was born and raised San Antoine and Bobian in the boldest house on the planet. You can still become a doctor. Is it hard? Here, listen. This is the most important thing that y'all have to understand. Then I'm going to let y'all go. A habit is a habit is a habit, fam. Whether that habit is a good habit or whether that habit is a bad habit, it's a habit. The goal as a human being, is to work to transform all your bad habits into good habits. What the elite know, fam, habits change a person's life. If all your habits is bad, then your results is going to be bad. If all your habits is good, now I'm not. Don't get me wrong. Now things is gonna happen. Things gonna happen. You know, unforeseen occurrence befalls us all. What the great good book says. So things is gonna happen, but you gotta understand that you really truly have the power to change and mold your life. It's all based on habits. So going back to why can this doctor be a doctor and I can't even fathom it? Well, the mindset, some people know this, some people don't. But today, if you didn't know, you know today now. You know today. We'll talk a little bit more about it, more and more as we do some tutorials. I'll be dropping some jewels to y'all. But if you want to know the difference between a nurse, a doctor, a lawyer, a politician, anybody that you look at esteemed, or somebody that's doing it, or somebody that's getting it, they don't have any special superpowers. The only thing that they have, fam, and I'm gonna leave y'all with this. I know we're supposed to be doing a tutorial, and I know I got this title one thing, but I don't care. I got it titled I'm gonna probably title this for mixtape cover Photoshop and fake a picture. But I want to talk to you guys because I really want you to get an understanding of what's going on in life, fam. A habit is a habit is a habit. So the doctor don't have special powers. The nurse don't have special powers. You know what the nurse and the doctor and the lawyer, anybody, you know the thing that they had over you? Habits. Habits. Now here's the fun part about habits. The fun part is that if you have a bad habit, that bad habit was almost kind of forced on you. All right, it was out of your control. You know, we grew up every day eating ramen noodles, so that's all I know is ramen noodles. So I'm gonna just keep eating ramen noodles till one day I decide not to eat it no more. Then I'm gonna have to probably wean off of it. You know, habits is a form of addiction as well, right? Addiction and habits, they go hand in hand, right? But the goal, fam, the goal in life is to change your addiction from bad habits to be addicted to good habits. Now, how do you do that? And I encourage you guys to do some research on that because it all has something to do with the conscious mind and the subconscious mind. Now, I know I'm finna start sounding weird, but just hear me out as your homie 𝗃𝘂𝗃𝗁. Don't hear me out as some type of wisdom guru or some type of spiritual. No. Don't listen to me like that. When I say subconscious and conscious, I'm even leery using them words because I don't want to throw you off. But the fact of the matter is, we hold things in our subconscious that actually stop us from doing things consciously. You understand? For example, we're not going to put our hands in fire. Why? Because subconsciously, we've all touched fire before. Every last human being on earth. And guess what? Our subconscious tell us, oh, no, I ain't never touching that fire again. Okay? It's been programmed in our subconscious. So we don't even think about it. We don't think about it. We just don't touch fire. You touch fire, you're a fool. You understand? Because you know what it's going to do. You know it's going to damage your hands or, damage you. You know fire is going to damage you. Somebody like Steph Curry, I'm going to use him as an example. You know what he did? You know why he can shoot a ball and he can shoot 77 three-pointers in a row? That's his record. Well, that was his record in the past. I don't know what it is now, but you know why he can shoot 77 in a row? Because he programmed his body and mind, which he practiced so much that he programmed his whole entire soul and system, spirit, everything, mind, heart, everything was, he produced a habit that was so, his body and his mind is so in sync with that habit that without even thinking, he can just shoot that ball. And I'm talking about every muscle fiber in his bone can help him to make 77 shots in a row. Three-pointers, right? From all parts of the court, three-pointers. That takes tremendous practice. But he did it, and now it's effortlessly. Same thing with Tiger Woods. Practice when he was a child. practiced so much that it's a part of his subconscious. You see? I've been driving down the street. I'm such a cautious driver that I avoid, I don't want to speak too soon, but I can avoid accidents like I don't know how to explain it, but I be so aware, and you too probably, for the most part, unless you're texting or something like that. Shame on you if you are. But if you see, you can sense something is about to happen because your eyes, everything is in tune, right? So much to the point where you don't even have to think about it. If you see a car coming from your rear suddenly, or your left peripheral vision or your right peripheral vision, you know how to swerve out the way. Boom, let me swerve out the way. Oop, missed that one. Yeet. You see, it was embedded in your subconscious. There's a lot of things that we do subconsciously, right? So the thing is to reprogram your subconscious, basically. And how do you do that? How do you think a weight trainer, how do you think when you see a person that go to the gym faithfully, do you think that they have willpower? No, not a person that have a crazy muscles that have a body like a goddess. It's beyond willpower, fam. There's that willpower is not a, you can't get muscles like that from just willpower. You have to go through a process. That is, the muscles come from habits. Everything else just fall into place. Do the research. You see what I'm talking about. How can this how can this person be a doctor? How can they go to school for 4 years, 8 years, 12 years? They had to create a habit first. Then you have to be addicted to that habit. Do it get hard? Yes, of course it gets hard sometimes. Well, what makes them keep going? Habits, fam. Habits. You understand what I'm saying? Once you get it, once you understand that, once you realize that, then there's no limit to what you can do. You want a good body? You want a perfect body? You want to lose? You're 100 pounds overweight? You want to lose it? Start a habit. Start a habit of eating right. Start a habit of going to the gym. Start it off small. Start adding to it. But the key, fam, is to create a habit that's going to be beneficial to you. You know, if you're alcoholic, that was a habit that you've been drinking so much. You created a habit that's breaking your liver down. It's breaking your system down. If you love sweets or whatever the case may be, you just love to eat. Well, it's just all it is a habit. It's not that you're a bad person. It's not that you're a good person. This is just my habit. You understand? So I wish that I can say the magical word that can wake you up, wake up. But the only thing that I could tell you, the only thing I can encourage you, the only thing that I really truly can say so that you could really get what I'm saying is develop new habits and change your life. Develop new habits and change your life. What happens is, and then I'm finna close. I know I'm talking about that. What happens is, I started going to the gym lately, right? Recently. I've always been a fit person all my life when I was younger because I was dancing. I was break dancing. I was jitting, head spinning, just doing a lot of things with my body. But once I started sitting at the computer for a while, all that kind of weaned away. As I got a little older, I stopped hitting the clubs. And, you're sitting at the computer, you're not really being active. So you gain a little office weight. You gain that sit down weight. So I started hitting the gym. It was difficult at first, right? At first, it took a lot of effort, right? Why? Because I'm used to sitting down. My body not used to moving. Moving? I'm going to move for what? Only moving I'm going to be doing is whatever moving is involving in that bed. That's it. That's the only moving your homie about to be doing. Other than that, I ain't about to move. I'm straight. So to get up out the chair and get to moving, that was very difficult, right? It's a difficult habit to start. And it gets tough because your mind is so used to the old habit. Keep in mind, habits is a form of addiction. So I was addicted to not moving. I was addicted to sitting my butt down somewhere. Sit down. Sit your old butt down. So it took effort at first. Now, it's been 120 days in. Now, it's difficult for me not to move. It's difficult for me not to move. It's difficult for me to not go to the gym. It's hard. That's hard. It physically hurts me. Physically hurt to not hit the gym. I get panicky. I get like agitated. Now, how do you go? Now, think about that for a minute, y'all. How do you go from hating going to the gym to hating if you don't go to the gym? Like, I have to go to the gym. I'm addicted to it. How do you do that? Where do that come from? That's the science. That's the way the mind works, fam. The way the brain works is you give it new commands and you be consistent with it. And you be so consistent with it till you change. What happens is on the scientific level, you create new connections in your brain. It's called neurons. Neurons start firing up and it start making new connections. And those new connections become stronger and stronger and stronger and stronger. And those old connections become weaker and weaker and weaker and weaker to the point where the new connections, I want to get my body in shape, overwhelms the old connection. I want to sit my lazy butt down. And that's the way the mind works. Once you really understand how the mind works, the true science behind how the mind works, then you realize, oh, anything is impossible. But you have to experience it first. Because I can sit here and tell you all day long. But if you don't put it into practice and you don't experience it, or you don't, if you don't put it into practice, you're not getting it. You're not grasping what the heck I'm talking about. What this 𝗃𝘂𝗃 talking about, man? You talking that, that 𝗃𝗂𝗃𝗃𝗃, man. Just get to the beats. Just get to the mixtapes. That's the mindset that keeps us bound. That's the mindset that keeps you bound. It keeps you in prison. There's this net. If you put a net inside of this bucket and you put a top on the bucket, the gnats would jump, bing, 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 right? Gnats can jump very, very high, right? But if you put a lid on this bucket and you condition the gnat, every time the gnat jump, it keeps hitting that bucket. Well, it's going to be programmed to where it can't go higher than that lid. And what happens is, after a while, if you take that lid off, guess what's going to happen? The gnats can literally set themselves free. They can just bing, pop right the heck on out of there. But guess what happened, fam? They keep hitting the ceiling, even though there's nothing there that's stopping them. They keep hitting the ceiling. Why? Because they've been programmed. That's their bound right there. They're bound. That's their boundaries. They can't go no higher because they can't see no further than that. So even when you remove the lid, they've been programmed to stop right there because they can't see that they can pop out. Bing. So they don't have no freedom. So the same thing happened to us when we grow up in the hood, or maybe you didn't grow up in the hood. Maybe you grew up in a good environment. But if you still have the mindset that you can't do something, or that's going to be hard for you to do, I ain't going to be able to do that. If you have that mindset, I ain't going to be able to, I'm a nurse's aide, but man, I can't go learn to be no nurse. That take too long. That's 4 years. You start looking at all these obstacles, just like the gnat. The gnat looking at that lid. The lid ain't even there now. You just lid. The gnat still making excuses why it can't be. You're a gnat. You're the gnat now, or the flea. You're the flea. You're the flea now. The lid been over you so long. You finding it's open for you, but you finding excuses why you can't be a doctor. You finding excuses why you can't be a lawyer, a nurse. That's too long. That's 4 years. I got my kids going to school. I'm old now. That's too long. I'm 45. I'm going to go 5 years. I'm going to be 50 before I be a nurse. Just forget it. I'll stay, doing this. That's our mindset. So this whole conversation, I know it took 45 of your minutes, but this is not for everybody. See, that's the whole thing. It's not for everybody because some people don't even care. I don't even care about what you talking about, bruh. I don't care. I don't even want to know. Some people don't even want to know. They just want to stay where they at. I'm a frog in this hot boiling water. It feel good to me. I don't know what you're talking about, bruh. It feel good to me. You tripping. You talking that scientific goobly gobbly crazy stuff, bruh. This is all I know, and this feels right. Well, some gonna hear, some not. That's the unfortunate part about life. You understand? But if you're one of the ones that's hearing me, what I'm saying, then I'm gonna say this. Anything is possible. You understand what I'm saying? Anything is possible. You just gotta understand the science of how the mind works. Understand the science of how the mind works. So that means if you make, so basically, if you making beats, why are you not learning how to shoot music videos? It's just, all it is do you know how to play 𝗵𝗵𝗲𝗀 Says? If you know how to play 𝗵𝗵𝗲𝗀 Says, you can make music videos. If you know how to play 𝗵𝗵𝗲𝗀 Says, you know how to do graphic. Because all you're doing is copying exactly what the instructor is teaching you. He's showing you. He's showing you. You still don't know how to do it? I'm showing you. I'm finna show you how to draw a T. You draw a line down, and then you draw a line from the left to the right. Now here's a pencil. You do it. We're not 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 year olds, fam. We're grown. All right? So what are you trying to say, T? What I'm trying to say is I got a website that's teaching you not just music production, but everything about music. Of course, it's mixing, mastering, music theory, beats, all that's involved. But I'm also teaching you how to develop your own website. I'm also teaching you how to do mixtape cover designs and graphics in general, flyer designs, logo designs. And you also learning how to shoot and edit music videos. The difference with me is I don't know if it was something special about me or whatever the case may be. I don't like sounding like that, but I'm just saying, I don't know what it was, but I just had the mindset, I'm going to learn how to do everything. There's no limit to what I'm going to do. Even when I was young, I was like, I'm going to learn how to do everything. I didn't know what I know today, like the scientific part about it. I didn't know that that's the way the brain works. So the science is this, fam. Anything in the world that you want to do, you can do it. Anything that takes time, your job is to find a way to develop the necessary habit to get your goal accomplished. Okay? So let me say this again. Pay attention to how you listen. Write this down. Habits. Any goal is possible. Any goal that you want, whether it's losing weight, getting muscles, changing your personality, changing your mindset, anything that any other human being can do, you could do it. Become a master engineer, the dentist, a scientist, a doctor, a lawyer, a nurse, anything. Athletic at 50. Anything that you want to do, you're able to do it. But if it takes time, then it's your job to find some type of way to build a habit to get her done. Once you build the habit going towards that goal, you're going to accomplish it. There's no way you can't accomplish it. You understand where I'm coming from? Unless you're dead. If you're still alive and there's something that you want to accomplish in life, find out what you want to accomplish, set a goal, and create a habit to accomplish your goal. That way, everything you do towards your goal is on autopilot. I'm going to leave you with that thought because I can keep talking, but I'm going to leave you with that thought. So if you are VIP at todaysbeats.com, that's the mindset that you need to have. Watch them tutorials, copy them suckers step by literal step. Copy them and create a habit of copying them. until it's embedded in your brain. When it's embedded in your brain, then you turn around and you spitting out your work. You spitting out expert work, just exactly the way your teacher is doing it. You have the ability to go variations, if not supersede, exceed past your teacher. You understand? So I just wanted to really drive that point home. Y'all can watch a tutorial and learn nothing, but you can watch a video like this and it could change your life, fam. All right? So, let me see what y'all can do, man. Let me see what y'all can do, man. What goals do you have? What is it? And you know what? I'm gonna say one more thing too, y'all. You got to do this, man. You got to do this. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what type of human being you are, because we are different type of human beings. We got different mindsets. We got different belief systems, things like that. But what I'm gonna say is take some time out for yourself. Take a good hour or two and go by yourself. Just go by yourself, right? Don't take no music with you. Don't, tell your family, your girl, your family, your friends, whatever, go off to yourself and think about, meditate on that. Like, what do I want to be? What do I want to be? Like, really think about it. Like, dedicate your time, give yourself some time. You deserve it, right? We all deserve it because we're so busy with life that we don't, we don't sit down and talk to ourselves. You know what I'm saying? We are best friends. You're your best friend. Go off and don't let nobody see you. don't let nobody see you and think you're a kook basket. But just go off and meditate and think about it, man. You know what I'm saying? And find your way. Because all the information is already inside you, really. You hear a voice like, man, all I'm doing is honestly, really, truthfully, I'm just bringing out what's already inside you. You already know this information, but you just need somebody else to reaffirm it or to bring it to the surface. Man, I can talk about this all day long, but you know what? I'm not, man. I'm about to wrap it up. I'm about to sign out. And you know what I'm about to do? I developed a habit. I'm about to go get on my habit. Because you know what? It's a good habit. It's a good habit. I'm about to go exercise, fam. And then after I'm done exercising, I'm going to be back with another tutorial dropping bombs on you, fam. All right, let me get on up out of here, man. But go sit down somewhere, man. Go stare at the wall and meditate. Find out what the heck you want to do with your life, man. But I'm going to tell y'all something. I'm laughing, but dog, I'm telling you, this is real, man. This is serious business, man. This is some serious business, man. Sit your butt down, figure out what the heck you want to do with your life, and find out a way to build a habit to get her done, man. Get her done, fam, because I'm telling you, man, the game is different right now. You got to be doing your own thing, man. You lose your job, what you gonna do? What you gonna do? You understand? Somebody asked me a long time ago. I know I keep going. Somebody asked me a long time ago. They were like, "T, how you surviving? How you got a job?" It's like, heck no. Because if I had a job, that wouldn't go hard in the paint doing this. You see, I wouldn't go hard in the paint being an entrepreneur. Because I got a cushion. Nope. I ain't about to let nothing slow down me from building my own empire. I'm not, that's just me personally, though. Some people need that security. But I'm not telling nobody, don't get me wrong, I ain't telling all y'all to run out there and go quit your jobs if you got one. I'm not saying that. But what I am saying is that was my personal decision. You see, my personal decision was to not, have a 9 to 5. If I can work that hard for another person, I can work 3 times as hard for my own self. And by me not having that cushion, I don't have a choice but to grind it out. I have no other choice but to grind it out and go hard in the paint. You understand what I'm saying? So anyway, fam, I really wanted to address that. I really wanted to drive that point home. Now, the next tutorial, I'm going to show you something. I got a little special treat for y'all in the next tutorial. It's real good. It's going to be real beneficial. But this little conversation that I have with you guys right now, to me, this is life changing, way more valuable than a tutorial. It's like a life speech. You know what I'm saying? But it's by your homie 𝗃𝘂𝗃𝗁. And I'm talking to you personally. You know what I'm saying? Just from man to man, man to woman, woman to man. You know, I'm just having a real, true conversation with another human being that you're a creative person. And creative people, we pretty much, you know, control a lot of the aspects of life, you know, through entertainment. You understand? So, you know, not in a bad way, like we some type of demigods. I ain't talking about like that, man. Dang, y'all always taking to something too far, man. Leaving crazy comments. But anyway, man, I just wanted to, you know, have a little business entrepreneurship pep talk with you guys. And I encourage you guys to look that up. I'll give y'all some specific videos to check out. Maybe I'll put some down in the link below. And I want y'all to learn some things about how our minds work. And once you understand how our minds work, that will give you the tools, you know, because everything that we need, absolutely every single thing that we need to survive in life is right at the top of our dome, our brain. And once you know how to work that sucker, you hacking your brain. You hacking it, but you're really not hacking your brain. What you're really doing is you're tapping into something that's been pretty much hidden from us. This information it seems like it's been hidden from us, and I'm going to explain to you why. Is because you would think that this would be the first thing they teach you in school. The first thing they teach you in school, because this is the catalyst to everything else we do in life. You see? So anyway, we ain't learning it in school, you're learning it now. You got the information now, so there's no excuse now for you. You know, you're privileged. You understand? All right, man. Let me get on up out of here. Let me go ahead and attack one of my habits that I created for myself, and go on and benefit from it later on, and party about it later on. You know, like I said, I done built some habits it's hard for me to break, but guess what? They're good habits. So, you know, it is what it is. All right. I know you guys benefit. I ain't even going to ask y'all. I hope y'all benefited from this. I know you benefited from this, but the question is, what are you going to do with this knowledge? All right. So I'm about to sign out. So until the next time, you guys take care. And until the next time, fam, I'll see you in a minute. I'll see you when I spin it. Pills, knees.